Hello, hello, hello. We do apologise for that. However, here we are on map 3. We've got NaVi Junior currently going, or looking to go 4-0 up against the Izako Boars. And well, unfortunately for them, that leaves them in quite a tough spot to say the least. Well, the Izako Boars currently a tough spot to say the least. However, Izako Boars are able to retake this position. They're able to come through and make it their first. As NaVi Junior, they falter on their retake. This leaves NaVi Junior now with their first, well, with their first they've lost, and at 3-1, they now move forward to at least try and recover.
Well, now this is their time to try and turn this around. Remember, NaVi Junior, they got off to a very, very strong start after having an incredible train as well. The 3-0 lead definitely would have got Izako Boars a little worried, but winning that bye round kind of puts them back into a position where they're potentially comfortable to come back into this. Of course, 3-1. Now a full buy on both parts. NaVi Junior not on a bonus at all here, though. They can now pull out these full AKs and the AWP, and this is where they want to try and bite back with some force. Round number 5. Minute 35 on this clock as well, Grammar.
Absolutely, that they do. And as they push their way forward, Tao is going to be the first man to watch out for you. It's the first man for you to have to take this duel with. And as we get ready for the push to come their way, here's a couple of shots that ring out either way. No one's come out on top just yet. However, the set piece means that Fear goes fast in towards CT. Spotted out by Shui, unable to kill him. Allows that initial kill to go down into this now 5-on-4 with Hyper and Shane both finding 2 quick kills. It goes to NaVi Junior, who have just been completely dismantled. It all falls down into this now what will be 1 versus 5, and for Munzi, I think he's just going to go save. Unable to even do that. We've got Hyper who's able to come out on top, and for Munzi, he's left in an awful spot now, as we see NaVi Junior go what should be 3-2 up here.
Well, just like that, we find ourselves almost level pegging. Of course, one more buy can come out here for NaVi Junior. I don't think there's going to be an AWP in the heart of it. And yeah, there absolutely won't be. Munzi on the scout, Onkro with that Desert Eagle. 3 AKs around it, though. A decent investment, potentially sufficient. But now there's the double AWP setup here from the Izako Boars. I think they might struggle.
Absolutely could do, because for the time being, we've got NaVi Junior again, just found out around the map. Looking for this initial attack, and they haven't quite done so just yet. Izako Boars in a sort of tough spot where, as they push their way forward, we see Hyper teasing that peak for the time being. Hasn't quite been able to kill anyone just yet, though. Instead, it's down to Cynex, who will make his own way forward, and Shane going aggressive, hard clearing this wide angle. And this is really aggressive by Shane here. It does force Cynex back alongside his opponents, and well, for Izako Boars, because it is kind of joint aggression around the board, now that they're not seeing their opponents, they've got to go quiet, they've got to go a bit more passive, just trying to figure out what on earth to do next. See Cynex, the ones on the discharge, pushing his way forward towards the side of Pits. Still hasn't killed anyone just yet, though, but what has happened is Izako Boars have gone for that initial smoke towards side, pushing their way forward, with NaVi Junior now ready to try and make their way up from Pits towards his position on B. The man to watch out for will be Hyper. The coach of Izako Boars has to be the one to try and hold, and as this set piece gets ready to go down, let's see just what he can do in response.
That's always the danger of being that B anchor. As the smoke goes down, the nades start to rain over, but look at the timing, swings into it. He's good for the first, and that buys time for Shane to start rotating. He's good for one as well. We trade 3 for 3. The trade's not really what Izako Boars are looking for here. They'd like to maybe be one up. That's a good nade, though. Gets Borglorov down low. They know exactly where he is. He's planting on default. Second nade there would have been huge, but they didn't have it. And Stomp with a single flashbang. 3 kits is all they've got to work with this retake.
You're absolutely right, with Shui joining him, trying to work his way through this smoke. Fear the man going close to it is the first man to try and take this fight. Zagra finding one Shui there to trade. Progolov to get next say in the matter. For Stomp, it's a 1v2. He rings out the first shot. He shuts down Progolov. He'll try and find Ankara as well. But unfortunately, time does not favour him. Ankara, he'll quickly kill him. He'll quickly finish the job. And just like that, Stomp, sure he gets the kill. Sure that helps. But what does that matter for? Because for Izako Boars, this is still going to be a 4-2 lead for NaVi Junior. And considering how fairly closely cut these sides have been, Josh, considering how we've just seen Train, who are you leaning towards?
I honestly really don't know at this stage. We're at a point where it could easily go either way. We've seen these last couple of buy rounds come up really, really close. NaVi Junior, that was a bit of a shaky investment. The fact they're able to pull that off is rather impressive. But yeah, 4-2. Another shaky buy here from NaVi Junior as we see a couple of Galils in play over on the part of Izako Boars. Because they had 2 convincing rounds, they do actually have a fair amount of money behind them, so they can reinvest. Stomp's kept enough cash behind him as well for an AWP later on. But they could really do a win in this round. If they don't, then NaVi Junior pull away further.
They do a bit. He's able to shut down Hyper. It's a bit of nade damage done either way, though, as Fizz left in a quite a tough spot. He'll push his own way forward, just trying to catch out these follow-up members. However, with Ankara shutting down Stomp, it's a back and forth, with Shane able to come out on top. We've got NaVi Junior in this 2-on-4, pushing their way forward. Tower goes aggressive, shuts down the first man, tries to go for the hero play. Was Shui shutting down yet one more? For a moment, actually, that hero play looked like it almost worked. However, in a 1 versus 2, Shui, with his location relatively known, he's got to try and shut out these first couple of members. He's got to do so relatively quickly because he does only have 22 HP and without get either. Munzi finishes the job. That's 5 for NaVi Junior as they really start to get the ball rolling now, and they've really started to force the Izako Boars to a tough old spot. Oh.
Stomp with this AWP, looking to try and do something. I'm actually quite surprised he's gone for this hero AWP. He had enough money for it, but it's a ballsy investment. If it doesn't work out, everyone's going to have money to buy in the next. His economy is going to be massively polarized. I'm not a massive fan, but we know how much impact he can have. Maybe he can have just enough impact to make this happen.
They push their way forward. Slidix, there's a quick kill, and as they shut them down, this is a perfect position for NaVi Junior to exploit. Having already shut down Shane, they continue to push their way forward, looking to continue this kind of heroic towards the position on A. And well, for Stomp, he really overstays his welcome with that AWP there. Both flashes get him. Both flashes force him back, and with a double molly towards sandbags, they all but guarantee that no one's going to be there. They spot out the pistol players over towards Tetris. As the mollies go down, it should just be a quick cleanup, a quick securement of the sites. And well, for Shui, the last man of standing, he's going to try and stop NaVi Junior from hitting 6, but they're going to shrug and say, just watch us, because for Shui, it is going to be a matter of trying to save here. And maybe if he can catch out an AK to save himself, that might make it a bit easier for him, but unfortunately, it is still a tough pill to swallow.
Well, Shui. One versus 4. With 15 seconds on this clock, there's absolutely no chance at him winning the round. He's hoping for some kind of exits, and they're not going to come his way. So, as that bomb will explode, NaVi Junior will be able to take their 6th, and this is what I was talking about. winning that buy round. They start to pull away further and further, and with it, I think they might just be able to steal the show here. Stomp, he hasn't got money for that or they have got this $3,400 loss bonus. It's not going to be the best of buys. I think Stomp probably be down to a FAMAS here. No, instead an MP9. If they can't win it, NaVi Junior should be able to pull themselves into 8. And that's quite a scary prospect at this stage. This is looking very reminiscent of what we saw on Train. Close stuff at the start, or at least looked close. And then the scoreline just pulled further and further and further.
I feel like us too as well, actually, in that regard, isn't it? Because we've got Munzi now scoped in, ready for this initial attack. However, there's no kill just yet. Instead of Izako Boars, they're using their util rather than what originally looked like a chance for them to give a platform to their aggression. Is now a chance for them to just force NaVi Junior back and just keep him at arm's length.
Whoa. Strong buy here from NaVi Junior. Round number 9. It's such an important one for the Izako Boars. If they can win it, there's a ticket back in, especially looking at the money of NaVi Junior. They'll have one more buy behind them, and then they'll struggle to pull out an investment. Izako Boars, they've got nothing left behind them. If they lose it, they could be in some real trouble, some real deep dirt.
Push their way forward. This brief lull in which we have Shui try to lead this charge, trying to catch out the odd man where he can, but once again, it's just there've been a few shots that rang out either way. NaVi Junior, they've really run down this clock now. 30 seconds left. And as the set piece goes down, the Mollies pepper their position. Fully blinded, there's Shui to shut down, or be shut down by Ankara. Tao, he's able to trade, but Ankara doubles down. However, a kill onto his teammate is recovered by a kill onto Hyper, so Ankara is killing everyone, including his teammates. Stomp, he's able to trade onto Cynix, with Progolov there to get the next say in the matter. It's all onto Ankara. Beautiful round by him. 5 kills, but not an ace. That ADR has just had a significant path, to say the least.
Absolutely, yeah. NaVi Junior, I mean, honestly, I was surprised that they were the favourites in this series. Then, after we saw Dust 2, I was even more surprised. I was thinking, what on earth? Izako Boars have just proved my suspicions. Yeah, they are just the better team here, and they should be able to take it in 2 bites. And that's really not been the case at all. NaVi Junior, they have just been the significantly better side. This should be their 8th round, unless they fall to Deagles, 3 of which are unarmored. So this should just be a breeze here for NaVi Junior and a chance for them to build up their banks further. We're going to see them on to 8 rounds. They will have already won the half, and then they could even extend it even further. Teo falls early. Shui looking to try and trade, but as another member with no armor, he is actually able to find it. Don't think he's going to dive in and try and save that AK, though.
How on earth he was able to ring out, I think, about 5 or 6 shots there before a single bullet's fired back to him is just incredible. For Shane, now positioned towards his point over on Pit. He's got the whole of NaVi Junior who are about to bear down on him, but he does have a Deagle to work with. And as you see that swing, he's spotted out by the first member, he backs away, he clings to that Deagle, and as his teammates desperately make their way towards his position to help out and just try and bolster the defense of this site, he's going to go aggressive. Brings out a few shots, takes a lot of damage for it though. Stomp shut down Fit elsewhere, allows Hyper to shut down Ankara. And now with only a few members left, Munzi and Cynix scratch that. Now only Munzi with that AWP in hand. Shane finishes the job. It's beautiful shots, and just like that, Izako Boars, they make it 3 now with NaVi Junior moving to their reinvestment, but more importantly, buying down to 0.
Well, I mean, I just don't get how the Izako Boars win rounds like that. They've not been able to pull out anything in these last couple of buy rounds. They've been really weak. And then NaVi Junior, as soon as they're against what is in effect just an eco with a couple of Desert Eagles, a deco, some would call it. Somehow they pull it off. Really, really crazy stuff.
Well, Munzi scoped in. He's the first man to try and have this point of contact. Please bear in mind as well that Izako Boars, they've got a bit more money than NaVi Junior do right now, despite the massive gap in score and, well, or round count even. And because of that, Izako Boars are going to try and punish NaVi Junior for every misstep they take here. And if they do, leaves them in an awful spot. We see these flashes go down. The set piece means that they're going to go for what looks like a bit of late control towards ramp, allowing them to push their way forward and subsequently towards this A site, as they take a moment to just breathe and really take their time with this attack.
Well, slow stuff here, as we do see Izako Boars just holding up. They've got these weapons, they've got that AWP, they've got those rifles. On the other side of things, NaVi Junior, decent buy, but it's got a couple of Deagles in the mix. 45 seconds on the clock to tick, stacked up outside ramp. This is almost certainly going to be a hard A hit.
Almost will be as we get ready for this initial attack. It's only about 35 seconds left for this initial attack, and even then, as these players push their way forward and Stomp, now deploy that early smoke. Flashes go down either way though. The cows behind these smokes instead goes to the discipline play, goes to the passive play as Izako Boars ramp up for what looks like a bit of a retake on this site. They don't have too much user to help them with it, but that single molly will be deployed instantly. Plant will go down by Cyanix though. He's able to get it done though without any trying engagement on him. He's even able to take Shane with him. A beautiful shot to get it underway. Can't quite double down onto Tal, but that bit of damage is all that's required. As on the flip side, Munzi over towards Sandbag, scoped in, ready for aggression from the high ground. He hasn't seen it just yet, but the molly definitely leaves him in a tough old spot. He swings into 3 different members as players jump on up. Encore needs to be careful he doesn't shoot his teammate again as flashes continue to go down. There's that smoke onto the bomb to make their lives a bit easier, a little bit harder in some cases. With Fear good for one bit, he looks to double down. He hears that bomb tapped again. Good for yet another. Can't quite finish the job, but it looks like there's just enough time, or just not enough time actually. I think NaVi Junior win this. That they do. It's an 8 for them. They confirm a victory in this half now. The question on everyone's mind is, to what extent?
I honestly, Izako Boars need a kind of turning point. That could be now, and if they take it, then they've got a chance. But if they don't, then I think they're just out of this game. I really don't see them coming back into this. They're really struggling right now, and yeah, NaVi Junior, whilst they haven't got a huge amount behind them, they should still be able to pull out these AKs, and that's where they're most deadly. As soon as they got those AKs in hand, very, very fierce.
They are. Izako Boars with a tough buy, to say the least. They are going to be forcing up in order to go into this round. However, as they do so, they're buying down to 0 on pretty much 3 of their players, and I don't know. I think they can just bring out an AWP, that they can on Stomp, but with that AWP on Stomp, it is still a buy down to circa 0 on almost every single member. And for the Izako Boars, what can they hope to do with it? Because they lose it here, then this half spirals out of their control, with NaVi Junior being the ones to really dictate the pace. And as we see once again, some early flashes go down towards this position on ramp. It looks like NaVi Junior upping the tempo here. Flashes go down left, right and centre. Borkalov with this Mac 10 to push forward, and as Shui tries to ring out a molly to at least keep him away from side. It keeps him away, but it won't stop him. So mollies keep peppering his position. That will eventually force the Izako Boars player back. Tao now, MP9 in hand. He's the one who's got to try and hold towards the side of this crane, and for Fear, he's ready to just pin that flash and let us rip onto this site. Smokes in hand as well, ready to be deployed. As we see them go down, here's that aggression. There's Fear, good for 2 there, beautiful spray control, and once again, it's just an absolute shutdown on this site. Cyanix onto Stomp, leaves it all onto Shane on this retake. Caught out by Munzi. For Hyper, he might just have to go save. NaVi Junior, they really run down the clock when they go for these executions, but when they land, they're absolutely flawless. And for NaVi Junior, that is a round they're going to be very damn happy with.
It absolutely will be, yeah. Flawless round for them so far, and unless Hyper can do some damage, then it's going to remain that way. Of course, as he creeps his way up, he could catch someone out on the exit. That's definitely viable. He does throw that smoke. Yeah, it kind of indicates maybe he's there, but obviously he's not going to be darting in for a defuse at that stage. So NaVi Junior, they take it to 9. Really solid stuff.
That they do. At 9 for NaVi Junior, they force Izako Boars into a really, really strong, or really, sorry, weak position with 3k around the board. They're going to have to buy down to a quite awful spots to make up for it. And what can they hope to do here? Because for NaVi Junior, they will attempt to hold firm. Whether or not they can or not, we'll have to see. And for Izako Boars, this is really where we see them with a couple pistols over on Stomp, a bit on Tau as well, but for the most part it is NaVi Junior who really looked to lead this position here to push on forward. More importantly, this is where they look to take these next couple of rounds to make this half look as one-sided as possible. Hyper pressing towards the spawn and caught out by Ankara once again. And for Izako Boars, as every single time they have an opening, it's just dismantled. Every single man's falling. Shui and Shane, the last two members left standing, and what on earth can they hope to do? Shui aggressive towards the mid, he's got Ankara to worry about for good reason, instantly loses his head. And for Shane, the last man left standing, 1 versus 5. So he pushes forward, Fear finishes the job. For NaVi Junior, that makes it 10, and more importantly, this forces them into a position where even if they lose every round from here on out for the rest of the half, they've done more than enough damage.
Yeah, double digits, 10 rounds on the board. They could just finish this off here if they can deal these 2 fatal blows. Take it 12-3. I can't imagine they fall now. They've got so much momentum behind them. A super convincing train map. Now, an even more convincing vertigo. NaVi Junior, they're just so scary on their T side. You look at those LOOT.BET odds flashing up on the screen. They are super one-sided. If you fancy Izako Boars' chances, maybe now's your time to head over to LOOT.BET to place those bets because, my God, they are really looking strong right now.
NaVi looking strong right now. Cynix, he's just decimating them. For Stomp and Shui, what do they do past this? They've got to save once again as NaVi Junior just accelerates hard and fast towards whatever their destination may be. And unfortunately, Izako Boars, they've got no immovable object to stop this unrelenting force.
Well, Stomp and Shui saving. I mean, going into the next round, at least they'll have something to work with. With that max loss bonus, Stomp and Shui could actually drop their teammates, and then we will see M4s instead of what would otherwise have been FAMASs. For Teo with $650, he could go for an M4 or maybe a FAMAS as well. So it'll be a decent investment in the last, down to the fact they do have that bonus. But Shui, he's looking for exits, and while he's good for 1, that economic damage doesn't do anything.
You're absolutely right, it doesn't. NaVi Junior, they're in a really strong spot at the moment, and as they force Izako Boars into a position where they've got to try and string together these AWPs or M4s, they've got to try and use it as a way to at least make it 4 rounds. If NaVi Junior win this next round, it's over for the Izako Boars, and they know it. You need at least 4 rounds on your half, otherwise it's just over. And for Prokhlov, he's going to lead this charge forward onto ramp, shifting his way forward. Tau, not quite able to trade just yet, not even able to entry, really, as his opponent does take a bit of nade damage, but this nade damage is not quite enough, with Stomp shifting his way forward. Prokhlov ready for the first man. Timing doesn't favour him, though. The Shui shuts him down. NaVi Junior, they got a man down, with what will be some follow-up progression towards this position on ramp. It means that Hyper is in a bit of trouble now, as it looks unlikely to see people continue to peek through this smoke.
Well, Hyper, so close, doing some damage there. With that man advantage as well, there's a chance here for Izako Boys to take this one. And, well, with Shane finding that kill, doubles down, looking to triple, can't quite connect on the 3rd head. But I think this round's done and dusted regardless. Izako Boars, they somehow pull out a really, really strong performance at a time where I reckon it's a little too late. 11-3, and Fear and Munzi looking to try and pull this one back. Fear has spotted the backpack of the player behind the boxes, but he can't connect the shots. Does finally get the spray down. Now a 3-on-2, and it's actually doable.
It absolutely is. However, it does still feel like too little too late. They do have an ult posted from their behind, so for Stomp, he's just going to be making sure that no one's even able to consider trying to get this flank on towards them. As Munzi boosts it up, is to try and shift to the other side of the smoke. Shui will be the man to have to duel on this position, but little do NaVi Junior know. Izako Boars just close to E-Box instead. First player spotted out, second player there to assist him. They pull the crosshair away, and they finish the job. Jumping the AWP out the map. Munzi, he might even just throw himself off the map here, but instead, Tau, he'll finish the job, as Izako Boars, they make it 4. And for NaVi Junior, they move to their, I believe, their CT side, in a hope now to try and close out this game as quick as humanly possible, having already established such a dominant lead.
I mean, it's a semi-smart heat of the moment thing, but obviously it was the last round of the half, so throwing his AWP out the map doesn't do anything. Either way, they take it 11-4. They're going to be super happy with it. You see Ankara and Fear having a massive, massive impact on this map. 18-8, 15-9. Kills certainly aren't the issue. Here for the Izako Boars as well. They've put up some numbers. They're just not putting down the rounds.
For me, Ankara, he is definitely the man to watch out for. Look at that. Most kills on Ankara. 18 kills in just 15 rounds. And in a pro game, that's pretty damn good, Josh. I'm seriously rating Ankara at the moment. And for NaVi Junior, they are really looking to decimate Izako Boars here. Izako Boars, a lot of util on their pistol round. We've got 2 smokes, 2 flashes, 2 nades. Over towards NaVi Junior, it's just a simple smoke flash nading kit.
Well, I feel a lot rides on this pistol round here for the Izako Boars. If they lose it, I can't help but feel that there's someone out of this series. If they take it, then, as I said on train, there's a lifeline. There's a small chance for them back in. I'm really not sure how confident I am with that lifeline, though. They really haven't impressed me today. Interestingly, Hyper not really being the issue either. Teo's massively lacking on kills. Shui, who's one of those hard hitters that we normally see putting up big numbers, not having a massive impact either. It's just a weak performance here from them.
It really is. And for Izako Boars, I'm kind of at the stage where I'm kind of thinking that they're lucky to get through a third map. Like, if NaVi Junior had a bit more of a warm-up, I reckon they win Dust 2 as well.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, they don't seem to be very good at Dust 2. Their Dust 2 is weak, and their previous Dust 2s have been weak as well against the 2 other teams that they played on it. They've really struggled. So I'm not too sure about Dust 2. I reckon if Dust 2 was probably a third map in this series or something, after like a super dominant win like this or a super dominant win on train, then maybe. It is bizarre though, isn't it? I've mentioned this a few times as well. How it really surprises me. I find it really crazy that some teams, they'll be able to win their map pick, and like Izako Boars were looking really good on Dust 2. They were winning all of the rounds, they were winning all of the duels, they were looking very strong, very comfortable. And then the fact that they can go into a new map, it's the same game, it's the same players, it's the same principle behind the game as well when it comes to like the raw talent, but they can just get completely dominated because the map layout's different. It just it seems crazy to really think about, doesn't it? When you look at the facts that the Izako Boars right now, they are losing all of their angels. They are losing all of their angels. They're losing all the gunfights. They're just being out-aimed, out-maneuvered. Whereas on Dust 2, it was the complete opposite.
No, you're absolutely right. And it is a position in which we have... I've actually done some statistic digging while I was talking about this as well. And it's a position in which your playstyle translates to different maps, but your quality of that playstyle doesn't. For Izako Boars, they rely on their CT side. It's just their playstyle. And that's just exactly the same for Vertigo here, where there's a good 10% differential for their, for them favouring their CT side. NaVi Junior, we don't have any statistics. They're the unknowns here, so they're going to be credited with that. And as they go for the nade stack on sandbags, they know it'll be completely clear. For NaVi Junior, what can they do with this defense? A nade in kit in the hands of Ankara. I mean, they should be able to cancel out a plant. The second one gets attempted, and as they go for this retake, a few shots ring out either way, though. That bomb is planted. Here comes that nade stack. Towel falls, and just like that, the bomb needs to be replanted. Shui the man to do just that. He'll punch in those numbers once again. As Shane shuts down Boglarov through the smoke. It falls into this 4-on-4. Follow-up flash goes through. This should allow Shui to get away. That it does. As he looks to just hide over towards side, he'll await to see where NaVi Junior choose to attack. As for NaVi Junior, it will be off the back of these couple of flashes, these couple of nades, just to really hit the hammer home for Izako Boars. So there's the aggression. Shui good for one. That bomb being stuck, and it's an absolute slaughter in which Izako Boars are able to come out on top.
That's actually a really good round from them, Shui. Really nice stuff there. 3 crisp headshots. A shame finding one more. That was impressive from the Izako Boars. You're right as well to note. I mean, NaVi Junior, they've actually played Vertigo once in the last 3 months. And it was against Project Diversity, which, okay, they took it 16-1. That's pretty crazy. But it's kind of one of those matchups where you would just be expecting them to win it all day long. And yeah, it's very, very bizarre that we've seen them play it once in the last 3 months, but they're this good on it. I mean, look at these setups. This is funky. I've never seen this boost before, but this is really cool. I mean, I'm not like the biggest fan of it on a gun round. I think on a gun round, it wouldn't make any sense to invest 3 players towards mid. There's like a major issue that, of course, if anybody goes and just hits towards a site, you've only got an anchor on either one. But look at that. I mean, that's brilliant to just get a kill there on an eco. Yeah, and a free AK. Shane has no idea what's happened.
And yeah, NaVi Junior does pick up that AK. I'm great. I'll just go save. There's not really much Izako Boars can do about that. If they try and hunt, they're going to be running into 4 players now. And even though they have USPs, when they're all together and shooting at once, it can actually still be quite scary. And for the Izako Boars, as they get ready for this initial hit, we'll end up seeing NaVi Junior now just fanned out, holding firm. And as it goes 11-6, we see NaVi Junior hit their first full buy on the CT side, in which they'll try to stop that Izako Boars momentum.
Yeah, 3 USPs collectively firing is kind of the equivalent of like an automatic weapon, isn't it? I suppose. NaVi Junior, you're right. They're not going to hunt. I love the little smiley face there from Shui. Maybe not the smiles just yet. They're not coming back. Just like it's not a time to be happy just yet. But you see those odds sort of closing up a little bit as there's now only 5 rounds in it. I like that though. I mean, Onkra as well. The other thing, if someone peeks close, then yeah, they might be able to spot you. You have to take a proper gunfight, but you should have the advantage on hitting the headshot anyway. But when they're on the stairs like that, they can't even see you. Onkra is confused there because only his legs are showing, so he actually cannot see where he's being shot from.
We're gonna have to see. We'll have to see for the time being. And as we get ready for this initial attack, is a brief lull in which we have a very slow start, to say the least. Again, usually we have what will be this fast default kind of fanned out by the Izako Boars, and with that, we just see them again waiting. They know NaVi Junior are going to go aggressive simply because they think that the weaponry won't be too strong. In Fear's case, it kind of is. He is only on a FAMAS, but for the most part, the remainder of NaVi Junior actually have a pretty good setup. However, Izako Boars, they don't know where it's positioned with what. They don't know if there's an up, they don't know if there's going to be rifles around the board, and well, as they shift forward, there's that first rifle spotted. Tau falls, mid-aggression comes through on the flip side, and as this util lands around them, there's the Ankara in mid, good for 1. Can't quite double down with Stomp coming out on top. Also goes into this 4-on-3. And Stomp deploys that flashes as those mollies go down as well. This leaves the Izako Boars in a very, very tough spot as the flashbangs go down. For NaVi Junior, what can they hope to do now in what will be this 4-on-3?
Well, the Izako Boars, they really need to win this. I can't put any more emphasis on that. They do have money behind them, so they could reinvest into next round if they do lose, but it's not about the money. It's not about the economy at this stage. It's about the actual rounds and the differential between them and their opponents. With Poglarov in this position behind the sandbags, they do molly it. He's able to smoke himself. Now they have to be aware, though. There's a nade to go in. It does some damage, but there's not a secondary to finish him. And he's able to swing and take down 2. That's unfortunate. A big mistake there from the Izako Boars. But as the flash comes over, there's not a lot they can do about it. Shane taps the bomb. Fierce swings and finishes. And we see NaVi Junior propel themselves onto 12.
That they do. It's a beautiful, beautiful opening there, and as they force them into a really tough spot, this is an awful, awful position for the remaining players now. And for Izako Boars, they can just about buy, but they're buying down to 0 once again. This is a really scary spot to be in, and well, for Izako Boars, for this Polish side, again, yeah, they've got to try and win this. If they lose this, I would argue they lose the game because, well, they are in a tough spot. 6 rounds isn't the end of the world, and it is recoverable, but it needs to start now.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Of course, Shane only down to this Deagle as well. He's a little bit lacking on the money side of things. Munzi trying to hit that shot towards ramp. Not going to spot anyone out early. He's got that AWP, though, so doesn't want to overstay his welcome. He's going to fall away. The Izako Boars, as they creep their way up, they are gifted ramp control. But what can they do with it? Control's all well and good, but they need to find the kills. And as the utility, it's going to pepper their positions. That lands right at Teo's feet and does loads of damage.
That it does. Util goes down. A few shots ring out either way from Shane, though, to try and come out on top. Hasn't done so just yet, and as Hyper pushes his way forward, it's messy, but eventually he's able to finish off the kill onto Progolov, with Ankara finding Shui. Low HP on every single Izako Boars member. Luckily, There are no more nades. The first one kills Hyper. That prevents the plant. Shane goes for the follow-up. There's no nade to follow through, though, but there is the aggression. Center sight. Shane in mid-air is able to finish off the job onto Fear. Stomp onto Moan. Easy as well. How on earth they're able to survive, I do not know. Flash goes out. Aggression goes through towards ramp. With all 3 members on ramp, what can they hope to do? Silence good for the first. He's going to head back. They'll snap that bomb. He waits for Shane to push forward. Shane falls as well. It's all onto Tower to 1 versus 2. As he pushes his own way forward. He saps out Cyanix. 1 versus 1. Ankara. He's going to be in a position where he can pistol Tao should he want to. But unfortunately, he's out of time. He's got to back away. Izako Boars make it 7. They show they still bear life.
They absolutely do, yeah. 12-7. There's a chance here for them. It's a super close round, and it's one that costs them. So reinvestment, definitely going to be expensive. But look at this from Shane. The entries, they work out beautifully, and then a big clutch there from Teo at the end. As soon as there's the pressure of the bomb, it kind of acts like an extra man, especially when it ticks to past like 20 seconds. It acts as an extra player.
It does, and as we push them forward, Ankara, he'll deploy the odd molly where he can towards his position outside. No kill just yet, and for NaVi Junior, they're going to probe for one. Uneasy. Went for that peek. Haven't been unable to see anyone. Goes for the timing play. Again, just hovering to the other side of the scaffolding. Almost daring someone to take a fight with him. But none has yet. So that smoke fades. That was his opportunity to push further forward, but he doesn't want to risk losing it to another AWP. Luckily for him, Izako Bulls don't have an AWP, so an AWP duel is kind of out the question at this point. As they push their way forward. Now, Principal, they take a moment to just hide for the time being. Be that bit more passive. Z2 goes down towards the site. Flashes go out. For now, Izako Boars, they just buy their time. Fear on a mighty off angle. No way they're going to be peeking this, but he is a little bit exposed for doing so. He realizes that actually it's probably better if he just backs away. And easy, there's the first kill. There's the opening. That should kickstart the aggression, and well, it hasn't done so just yet. And easy, he wants them to peek into him, wants them to take these duels, and they just haven't yet. And well, as he goes for further aggression now, he's ready to try and get the next say in the matter. There's Fear good for 1. Hyper's able to get a trade, with Ankara able to assist into a 4-on-2. Stomp, again, continue to take damage with Pogolov with the deagle. Finishes off the last 2 players. NaVi Junior hit 13, and more importantly, they completely reset the Izako Bulls.
You sort of start to get itchy fingers when you're watching Munzi there, just seeing the backpack kind of poking around the corner. You start to worry, oh, is anyone gonna peek, or is he just gonna sit here and then maybe aggress a little bit later and lose his life? He does exactly the right thing. As his teammates were finding the kills and trading, they didn't need his support. He continued to hold that Ivy angle. If he aggresses and dies, then there's complications. Then Izako Boars have a chance to maybe have a double-pronged attack instead of just coming up a ramp. But as long as he can hold that position, there's no chance for it. As pistols come out, hit the Izako Boars, it's not even a half fight. It's actually a full investment. It's going to be completely shut down. They walk right into the blender. That's full team for NaVi Junior. There's no money here for the Izako Boars. They either force until the bittersweet end, or they eco here, play for overtime, I suppose. But that's pretty crazy. They'd need 8 in a row to get there.
That force is a brave decision, to tell you that, Josh. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that at all.
It's kind of just like, I don't want to say it's them giving up, but that is what it's indicating. When you go for a forcing around like this, it's like, yeah, you're giving up. There's pistols. You hope that you can do something crazy with it, bearing in mind how last round, when I don't have a lot of confidence in it. They don't have a great track record with these force buys, especially not here on Vertigo. And yeah, obviously they'll just be on a force buy very similar to this in the next round as well if they can't win this. If they can get a bomb plant, it'll give them some extra cash. But at this stage, I'm not even sure if that's going to happen.
No, you're absolutely right. We have this brief lull with Ankara backing away. FAMAS in hand. He's just waiting for Shane over towards his position. And as Munzi shuts down Stomp. There's the initial opening. Smokes go through. It holds them back. Molly as well onto ramp. Gives them a brief lull. Ankara brings out a few shots here or there. It does keep them back, but it hasn't quite finished the job on them just yet. Cynix says the kill onto Hyper, though. Now a 2-man advantage for NaVi Junior. They try to do a follow-up from Izako Boars. It just doesn't work. Sure, Shuey gets a kill, but as his team collapses around him, it's all on to Shane. 1 versus 4, pushing forward, quickly dispatched by Fear. NaVi Junior now leading 15-7. Josh, this should be the final nail in the coffin for Izako Boars looking at their economy.
It absolutely should be. With the extra money, we could see a couple of Mat 10s come out here. But that would be best, and it's not even looking like that's the case. Stomp could buy one. No, instead he goes into a Desert Eagle. Shoot with the Tech 9. It's going to be another pistol buy. You see, the first is the snipers. Yeah, there is a lot of util, and I kind of like that. They're prioritizing the util over maybe something a little more premium, like pulling out a Mac 10 or any other SMG. We could have seen a Scout, I think, on Stomp as well, but he's opted against that too. Anyway, we saw that sniper comparison, and it wasn't as far apart as I was kind of expecting, but there's definitely like a big gap there between Stomp and Munzie. Yeah, Stomp. Just, it's kind of down to lack of opportunity, isn't it? He hasn't had many rounds where he's been able to pull out the AWP.
Absolutely is. There's aggression towards this B site. Fear, Silex, Donkra, they all chime in unanimously. And with Stomp, the last man left standing, 1 versus 4, 16 HP to his name. He should be quickly killed, and as he will about to be, that should be all she wrote for Izako Boars. There's that kill. There's that cementation of a victory for NaVi Junior. As they take the series 2-1, they take Vertigo, our final map, 16-17. It's a hard-slogged, hard-fought victory, but nonetheless, they come out on top. An incredible game, to say the least, Josh.
Absolutely, yeah. Really good stuff there from NaVi Junior. They take it 2-1. I don't think that scoreline really does it justice, because that was very, very one-sided from NaVi Junior in those final 2 maps. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. That's going to be all from us for the English stream of LOOT.BET Season 9. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, for more LOOT.BET action, so make sure you join us then. For now, though, enjoy the rest of your day, folks. We'll see you all very soon.
Bye-bye. Well, tomorrow we will be bringing you Young Ninjas versus Linkby Vi